So welcome. Today we're doing Modern Lantern again. This is rather than the previous version of the deck we played, which was more of like a Jund Renin 6 type thing. This version is the green-black, more low to the ground version. So Lantern control, just to catch up anyone who's not familiar. Lantern of Insight, everyone plays with the top revealed. So you use that in combination with mill rocks like Codex Shredder and Ghoul Caller's Bell, sometimes Pyxis of Pandemonium, in order to selectively choose what your opponent is going to draw. And then you invalidate all creature combat using Ensnaring Bridge. Of course, that doesn't fix everything because your opponent can still have one, answers to Ensnaring Bridge, and two, ways of killing you that don't involve creature combat. So you do need to be able to deal with all of that, which leads to tons of hand disruption in Thoughtseize and Duress. We've also got Assassin's Trophy to deal with problem permanents. Pithing Needle, if we need to name certain activated abilities, for example, Planeswalkers, like, Ensnaring Bridge doesn't do anything about Planeswalkers, so Pithing Needle helps for that. And then we've got multiple sources of life gain if we need to beat Burn, because again, Burn or any effects that are similar to Burn doesn't care about Ensnaring Bridge either. So we have primarily Underworld Cookbook to keep gaining life. We also have an Inventor's Fair to gain some life. And the plan is to just delay the game until we can eventually mill our opponent out, and we have to essentially make it so that we invalidate all of our opponent's cards. So the end goal is to get a Lantern of Insight into play along with multiple mill rocks and an Ensnaring Bridge, and then make it so that they never draw any relevant cards. So we can give them lands, we can give them creatures that all they're good for is attacking, but anything that can burn us, drain us, mill us, blow up our permanents, have our opponents draw cards, etc., gotta mill all of that. So in addition to everything we've got, Mishra's Bauble is just another way of cycling through stuff faster. It also is, in a pinch, a second one-time copy of Lantern of Insight if we don't have a Lantern. Also Profane Tutor to go fetch up stuff. Underworld Cookbook is also important for making sure that we can discard cards out of our hand. We obviously want to make it so that we're always empty-handed, so that Ensnaring Bridge is always viable. And that's going to mean that we're always empty-handed, and we can also mill ourselves to selectively determine what we draw, aside from just our opponent. Codex Shredder can also be used later in the game to get stuff back from the graveyard. And then specifically, if we're facing combo decks, we've got main deck Surgical Extractions. So let's say our opponent is on a specific combo deck, like, let's say our opponent's on Living End, for example. Well, if we mill over a Living End, all we got to do is Surgical Extract the Living End, and then basically their whole deck falls apart. Land-based, we've got Academy Ruins, which is a way to either get back artifacts that have been used or to prevent us from ever milling out, because we can always just keep putting artifacts back on top of our deck. Bunch of black-green lands, including Beseiju, some rainbow lands in Glimmer Void and Spire of Industry, Inventor's Fair to gain life or tutor for specific artifacts. Mycosynth Gardens, which can become additional copies of things like additional mill rocks or additional not Pithing Needle, but additional mill rocks. And then finally, Urza's Saga, which gives us a backup win condition, so we can just make giant Saga tokens and attack our opponent to death. Sometimes we can use this to block. And also, because it fetches 1 mana artifacts, we can fetch Lantern, mill rocks, etc. We also have a main deck Nile Spellbomb for additional sources of graveyard hate in addition to the Surgicals. Sideboard, we've got Leyline of Sanctity, so this is for burn or just any other deck that targets us with stuff. Inquisition of Kozilek, because 7 main deck hand disruption spells weren't enough. Here's some more. Gear per Aether Grid, this is a way of killing off either small creatures or just giving us an alternate win condition to ping our opponent to death. Life from the Loam, if our opponent has anything that is going to blow up our lands, or let's just say we're going to be in a really grindy game, this allows us to get back copies of Urza's Saga. We've got Elixir of Immortality, yet another way to just shuffle our graveyard back into our deck, and gains us a bunch of life. So again, if we're facing burn or something. Grafdigger's Cage, more grave hate, additional hate versus things like Coco, Court of Calling, that sort of stuff. Haywire Mites for artifact enchantment decks. Stone of Eric, more graveyard hate, also stops the Yawgmoth combo. Cursed Totem for various activated abilities from creatures, again, like the Yawgmoth combo. And then Damping Sphere for the Damping Sphere related stuff. And that's going to be Lantern. This deck, although I think Modern is a garbage fire format right now, Lantern is my favorite deck of all time, so hopefully that will somewhat mitigate the feel-bads. So let's go ahead and jump into Modern Lantern. Don't know what makes Lantern so compelling to me, since usually I just like Staxy Prison Control stuff like this. It's because it's so decision-intensive. There's so many micro decisions to make during the game. You really have to play well. You got to know your opponent's deck inside and out. And it's also just so unique. There's no other deck in the game like it. All right, we've got 4 lands, including an Urza's Saga and Spellbomb Bridge Assassin's Trophy. Seems good to me. We are on the draw, so keep this. Snow Island into Preordain. They went 1-1. Ooh, turn 1 Lantern? Okay, I was going to play Nile, but I guess I'm playing turn 1 Lantern. Turn 1 Lantern. All right, it is Murktide. So I don't know why, but for whatever reason, even though on Moto, you know, are the top cards revealed, it will not keep that in a revealed zone when our opponent draws it, which is pretty frustrating. But so we just have to remember what they have. So they have a Murktide, Spire Bluff. I could kind of mitigate that with Nile Spellbomb, Preordain. So okay, they scry. Do I get to know what they draw? They put both on the bottom. Okay, so they didn't draw Bolt. I should technically know what they drew, but it doesn't give me the window to do it. Man, Moto sucks. All right. DRC. They're about to draw another Murktide. So we just drew Blooming Marsh. I probably got to get Saga online right now. So Saga, and then I don't think I'm going to have the time to wait either. So let's just go Saga, trigger. You're supposed to be able to see what your opponent draws, but it doesn't register in the log, and it doesn't give you an opportunity to see that either. All right, Nile Spellbomb. I don't even really need to pop the Spell Bomb, actually, but I'm not going to be able to empty my hand fast enough anyway. Well, let's go. So they've got a Darcy, so we do have to eventually get through that. All right, they've got 2 Murktides in their hand. Oh, they drew another Murktide? Or another Murktide is on top, so they've got 2 Murktides in their hand. Expressive Iteration, just always yield to this. Milling over the Murktide. All right, Unholy Heat is completely useless against us. They exiled Preordain, and they have another Darcy. Shocking Steam Vents, Snow Island on top. We can also use the Spell Bomb to get rid of Delirium if they get up to it. Preordain. So main deck, they have what? Counterspell, Spell Pierce, probably. So I probably should just sneak it Ensnaring Bridge through almost immediately. They exiled in Spell Pierce, putting both on top. They actually don't have Delirium. All right, that's fine. Do I pop this Spell Bomb? I'm probably not going to bother making a Construct. I'm probably just going to slam Ensnaring Bridge. Although, what do they have main deck that gets rid of a bridge? Maybe Prismari Command? All right, let's just make sure they don't have Delirium. So Spell Bomb you. We're going to draw. Top card of our deck is Surgical. It's not really that helpful. Ooh, a Codex Shredder. Yeah, I'm not going to bother making a Construct. I'm just going to slam Ensnaring Bridge right now. They are playing Force Negation. I was wondering about that, but I didn't think they would be. All right. So their hand is 2 Murktide. What did they exile? They must have exiled Murktide, right? Yeah, okay. They exiled Murktide. So Bridge gets countered. We have another Bridge, though. They're about to draw a worthless land anyway, so I think we're good. So just pass back to them. So their hand is a Murktide and then 2 cards I don't know about, and they drew Steam Vents. So Steam Vents, Murktide, card I don't know. All right, I don't actually want to shuffle their library right now. I'm probably just playing Ensnaring Bridge again this turn, so float a mana. All right, let's go grab Codex Shredder. Then we can play Marsh. I mean, if they have a counterspell, they have a counterspell. Like, what are we going to do? Unless they literally have the second Force of Negation. Like, okay, if I Surgical them and then they don't, and then they have a counter, like, what am I going to do? Just not ever play Ensnaring Bridge? I guess it's fine. All right, Surgical, their Force, Paying Life. What's in your hand? Merc, Spell Pierce, Counterspell. They literally only have 1 Force of Negation in their whole deck. All right, so let's see. Bolt, Ragavan, Stern Scolding. Counter target creature with power 2 or less. It's irrelevant. Okay, they have a Ledger Shredder. So they've got the Counterspell, they've got Spell Pierce, they've got Murktide. I mean, their clock is atrocious, right? So we've got plenty of time. Maybe I could have actually won on the beatdown plan then. All right, well, let's get rid of this Force of Negation. Unholy Heat is still on top of their deck. All right. Well, let's just play Codex Shredder. And then I'm not going to jam the bridge into their counterspell. I mean, they probably should counter this, though. Like, they don't have anywhere near a good enough clock. What part of the stream have you missed? Nothing. We just started. Yeah, counterspell. All right. I assume they'll bin that. Vishra's Bauble on top. Sure. Unfortunately, they still have the Spell Pierce mana up, but we can eventually pay for it. I mean, I'm probably just going to trophy their DRC, or try to at least. So over to them. I don't understand why Moto doesn't show you the cards they've drawn in the revealed zone. Like, you see the card, they draw it, you know that it's there. Why doesn't it track that for you? Spell Pierce on top, cracks the bauble. Does Trophy make them search? No, they don't. They don't have to. Okay. I'm going to just shoot this. It means we don't take damage this turn if they let it resolve, and it shuffles their library if they go get a land to not draw this other Spell Pierce. All right, they let it resolve. Top card is Bauble, so now they're just going to play Merc with the Spell Pierce open. Merc's a 5/5. That's fine. All right, it's a 6/6. Sorry. Okay, so I do need the mana to pay for Spell Pierce. So let's just go ahead and draw this. So upkeep, Bauble triggers. It resolves. They draw another Bauble. There's a Bolt on top. Fair. I mean, I sort of want to mill Bolt, but at the same time, I guess it's fine if they draw a Bolt. So we take 6, go to 10, and then next turn we can pay for Spell Pierce. So let's just pass to them. All right, they attack us. No blocks, obviously. Go to 10. Oh, they drew. Okay, so they have another Bolt on top of their deck. I was wondering, like, wait, what happened? Shouldn't they have this in their hand? Yeah, Bauble. Even if they draw the second Bolt, that's fine. All right, I'm going to target me. Mycosynth Gardens. All right. So Bobble Trigger, they have another bolt. So they have 2 bolts in their hand. Shredder. All right, so Gardens, Cast Ensnaring Bridge. It resolves. I shouldn't have tapped Gardens. Oh, well. So they have 2 bolts, and they can't attack me. All right, we got to be very careful about what we allow them to have. I think I can let them have Ledger Shredder. Stern Scolding. Shredder, Then I assume they'll bolt us and connive. Yep, bolt us, connive. That's fine. They draw a worthless counterspell. Discard the worthless counterspell. We go to 7. All right, mill ourselves. Another Codex Shredder. Let's go. Always yield to this. So their bolts are irrelevant because we're just going to gain life past that. All right, tap this, play Codex Shredder. I mean, this is kind of their only opportunity to Spell Pierce because they can go Spell Pierce, Bolt, Connive again, although then they don't have the card in their hand. Spell Pierce, sure. I will pay for it. All right, they're bolting us now. That's sure. You draw and discard a Delta. All right, play this. Copy. Codex Shredder. All right, we win because we've got Lantern, 3 Mill Rocks in play, and they can't do anything. So we have now won the game. It's just a matter of actually killing them in time. Yeah, okay, they concede. So let's see. The major thing we got to be wary of is Shatter Effects and Blood Moon. So we're going to want Hand Disruption. We're going to want... what else? That's kind of it, right? I guess Haywire Might to kill the Blood Moon. Is there a single card that I need to name with Needle in their entire deck? I don't think there is. What? EE, they can only play it for 2 anyway. I guess them playing it on 1 is an issue. Like if they have an EE for 1. I definitely don't need 2 Needles. Surgical is also not good against them because there's nothing like in particular that we're trying to snatch out of their deck. So I think that's basically it. All right, let's do that. So yeah, Lantern is the most difficult deck to pilot in the entire game because you not only need to know your own deck inside and out, you need to know everyone else's deck inside and out. You need to know what do I need to need, what decks do I need Needle against? What do I need to name with Needle? If I have to play a Needle on turn 1, what do I have to name in the blind? What can I afford to let them draw versus not draw with Codex Shredder and Ghoul Caller's Bell? Like what's important versus maybe they have something that's worse that I need to get rid of. So many things you need to know. All right, we've got, well, we can't play Hand Disruption immediately, but we can play it the second turn. We get to go Lantern, Thoughtseize, but then we know everything in their hand. We've got 2 lands. All right, so keep. I think I'm actually going to play Codex Shredder on turn 1. I was thinking, like, do I blind mill them? But I guess I don't because it gives them Murktide fodder. It gives them Darcy, Delirium, Spire Bluff, DRC. All right, Bauble. Plays a second Bauble. Surveils away 2 lands. We drew our own Bauble, huh? Actually, that lets me turn 1 Thoughtseize them. Excellent. They only have 2 cards in their hand right now anyway. All right. Bauble, Spire. They're going to crack the Baubles, right? Like, they gotta. So that means it's better to wait to Thoughtseize them. Now, let's play Codex. And then I guess I'm going to stop them on their upkeep. Bauble us. All right. Bauble trigger on the stack. Bauble them. What is the card? Murktide. Do I have to mill that or not? I mean, they don't have any spells in the graveyard yet. I guess I don't. I guess if I mill it, I can actually surgical it out of their deck, and then I also know everything in their hand. That stomps their clock pretty hard. All right, let's mill them. Then we'll allow that to resolve, and then it's past their upkeep. And then we'll just end-step Murktide, or end-step Surgical Murktide. Or maybe I just don't even do that right now. Maybe I just wait till next turn, because then I can Thoughtseize and then Surgical. Bauble, targeting themselves. Fetch. So any spell gets Delirium online. Engineered for 1. Damn. All right. Well, we got a plan. We got something to fight through now. I assume they're holding up Spell Pierce at this point because why else not play anything here? I don't know. They might not have it. So all the Baubles now go off. So mine and theirs. We drew Profane Tutor. I probably have to Thoughtseize them, right? Like if they just play Blood Moon, we lose the game on the spot. Glimmer Void, Thoughtseize. They have another EE and a counterspell. Yikes. Well, like they already have the first EE. I suppose they could play a second EE on 1 as well. Probably just take Counterspell. Yeah, all right. Counterspell gone. I shouldn't have played Glimmer Void because they can pop this, kill my Glimmer Void. I was trying to think of not taking damage from tapping Spire, but that was stupid of me. Man, if I play Lantern now, it just gives them a reason. But I guess they don't ever have a reason to pop it unless I do it. And this at least lets me control somewhat of what they're doing. Force of Negation's on top. I guess I gotta mill that. Get out of here, Force of Negation. All right, I'll land. So over to them. We're drawing another land anyway, which is helpful. If they pop EE, counterspells on it. All right, if they pop EE, I just surgical it before it resolves to get rid of the second EE. Also, if they pop EE, it kills their own DRC, right? So, like, that's something. So there is tension on their side as to whether to pop it or not. All right, we take 3 damage from Darcy. All right, well, I'm definitely milling this counterspell. So, mill that. Preordain. Ugh. I can play bridge right now, and then the DRC can still attack, but actually it can't if I surgical. All right, bridge. I really want them to pop this EE, but they're just not going to. Bridge getting down also means if they do pop EE, I get to retain Glimmer Void. All right, they drew a Preordain. Cast Preordain, and they're going to surveil the land away. A counterspell is on top. So if they draw that, I surgical counter, and then they're going to draw this counterspell for sure, right? So I surgical, and then they cast the counterspell, which is kind of the same thing as them doing it anyway. Like, it gets it out of their hand. All right, so Preordain resolves. 2 top, bottom. They have another counterspell on top. Dash Ragavan. All right, surgical on counterspell. So take the counters. All right, the rest of their deck, what do they have? Darcy, Cast into the Fire, Blood Moon. They only have 1 Blood Moon. They've got 1 Cast into the Fire. They got 2 Magus of the Moon. So Moon, Cast into the Fire. So Cast into the Fire is the actually only thing that I care about now. They don't have any third color, right? Yeah, so literally Cast into the Fire is the only card that matters for the rest of the game, essentially. Blood Moon could also make me retain cards in my hand, so I do have to worry about that to some extent. Okay, Murktide on top, sure. So this can't attack, Ragavan can attack. They exile Profane Tutor off the top, which they can't suspend anyway, so that's fine. Ooh, a Swamp. I actually want to draw that in case they have Blood Moon at some point, and then I can always have black mana to cast my black spells so I don't get stuck under the bridge. Ragavan bounces back, Duress on top. All right, Swamp, suspend Profane Tutor, and then we'll pass to them. I don't care if they draw Murktide. I guess I should always be setting a stop on their upkeep. Bolt. Bolt's fine as well. So they know I have Duress on top, so if they're going to cast EE, they should do it now, right? Wait, how do they have white mana? Excuse me? Oh, the treasure token. F me. Yep. Well, that's an issue. Man, now they can blow up bridge too. All right, so I have to start aggressively milling myself for what? Another bridge? It doesn't matter. I can't double it. I have to aggressively mill myself for Needle. They're fetching. I only have 1 of in my deck. Ugh. Are they going to pop this EE? No, they're just casting Murktide. All right. I should set my own upkeep stop. All right. Mill myself. Yep. Upkeep. I'll yield to this. I've got 1 turn before that. All right. Mill myself. Urza Saga. Sure. Draw. Urza Saga. Well, we can't do anything, so they get to blow up the bridge. Over to them. I guess I can tutor for a bridge, but then I can tutor for a bridge. They draw a Bauble. The EE pop. We lose Ensnaring Bridge. Then we get to get hit for 5. Oh, they have enough mana to dash Ragavan too. So they will get to cast a Lantern. That's fine. All right, Ragavan triggers. Being at 3 is also pretty annoying against a Bolt deck, but what are we going to do? Bounce Ragavan back to their hand. Okay, an our turn. This gets cast. We have to go get another bridge. Bridge, draw. This thing triggers. All right, Gardens. Play Ensnaring Bridge. Oh, I probably got to mill over Preordain, don't I? It's 3 looks at a card that matters versus only 1 top card off the top. Oh, Darcy can also... I guess it only matters if they have an instant. I'm trying to think, like, can they do anything mid-combat to grow it through our bridge? I guess they technically can only do that if it's an instant, which the only instant they can play is a Bolt anyway. Well, it actually doesn't have flying if they do that. All right, let's mill them. Steam Vents on top. All right, pass to them. Okay, so they have... Their hand is Steam Vents, Ragavan, Bauble, right? So no attacks. Plays Bauble, trigger the Surveil, mills the Bauble off the top of their deck. Baubles us, sure. I mean, everyone knows the top anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, make a Construct. Then it's our turn. Bauble trigger resolves. They draw a Darcy. Magus of the Moon on top. Well, that's an issue. Draw, let's... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fact that we make another Construct is totally irrelevant, right? Just mill this. Top card's Expressive. That's... Yeah, all right. Well, I mean, if they draw it, and then we just die. So, make a Construct. It doesn't really matter whether I do it or not. Their creatures fly, so if they get rid of Bridge, it doesn't matter if we have blockers anyway. All right, resolve Urza Saga, question mark? All right, we have to grab Needle to stop the EE. Engineered. All right, tap land. I guess I could copy the Lantern and then shuffle their library. It's just such a problem if they get another 3 looks. I mean, it's 3 cards. The only card that they can hit that matters is Cast into the Fire. Or yeah, it's just Cast into the Fire is the only hit that matters at this point. The fact that they have it is the issue. All right, let's copy Lantern of Insight, and then we'll make them shuffle. Okay, a fetch land. Here we go. So now all we got to do is just mill Cast into the Fire. Literally all we got to do for the rest of the game, and then we just clock them out. Haywire, play land. Go. Don't care if they draw Spell Pierce. Actually, no, I got to mill Bolts as well. All right, target me. Just gotta hit mill rocks. Actually, I don't have to mill bolts because Haywire Might can be activated to gain life. Opponent fetches. Bolt on top. All right, just eat your treasure so we can gain some life. Or not treasure, the EE rather. It doesn't actually matter which one. I guess I should have just hit the treasure token. All right, you can draw bolt. I will mill Preordain. Plays another Darcy. All right, mill that. Flusterstorm is fine. Untap. Glimmer Void. Boy, do I not want to draw Thoughtseize. So if I were them, I'd bolt now, yeah, and then Surveil twice. Expressive Iteration, so let's allow this Surveil to resolve. All right, mill you. Bolt on top. Ugh, so bad. All right, I have to shuffle their deck. And now I don't know what they're drawing anymore. All right, we're blind. Oh, they drew Expressive. Ugh, so bad. Darcy, mill, Iteration. We also have to mill ourselves because I can't draw Thoughtseize here. Or rather, I don't want to draw Thoughtseize here. Actually, I don't have to do that, right? I can grab... What can I grab? All right, they just drew a bolt anyway. Oh, well. Okay, so, I mean, Surgical Extraction isn't useless. Trophy honestly seems not great. It's very, very difficult for that to ever hit a Blood Moon. We have to have both of our basic lands out. Do I want the second Needle? So the only thing I have to Needle is EE. I guess there's a situation where I might have a Needle on EE and then they would kill it, and then I can never have a second Needle on EE. So I do need the Needle back in my deck. I'm not going to bring in Leyline just to deal with Bolt. So my inclination is just to get rid of Surgical. All right, that's fine. Let's do that. You're playing Modern. Is this a hostage situation, or are you doing this willingly? I'm doing this willingly for the sake of Lantern. When you're lost in the darkness, a Lantern shall guide the way. You enjoy Lantern? Lantern's my favorite deck ever, across any format. So we're also both pretty low on time, so I'm going to have to play really fast here. Both of our decks require a lot of game actions. Do you think the Golgari version is better? Is there ever a chance the deck would run blue or white, particularly blue? I do not know which version is better. I haven't played Lantern in a long time. All right, on the play, this hand is acceptable. Keep this. Obviously, we need like a mill rock and bridge, but we've got turn 1 hand disruption. So this, Inquisition, cast, counterspell Magus. I can't deal with Magus. Stern is actually going to get rid of Haywire Might here. Man, that's kind of annoying. All right, let's just take Magus because I can't deal with it. Over to them. Let's turn off these upkeep stops. All right, so I didn't have Lantern down that turn, so there's one card we don't know about. Did they just draw a 1-mana guy, really? No? I cannot believe they kept this in their deck. They drew the Ragavan, for F's sake. Well, we drew Ensnaring Bridge. Okay, so let's go Blooming, Lantern, Haywire Might, over to them. Hopefully they tap out, like, if they go Cast into the Fire here, then we can resolve Bridge. No, they're just not going to attack. Yeah, all right. That makes sense. Well, okay, if they have to fetch for Counterspell, that means they're not drawing another Counterspell. So it's still worth it to resolve the Bridge here, or try to resolve the Bridge here. Obviously, they still have Cast into the Fire. They fetch, Island, counter, sure. Okay, so they drew Preordain. It's so obnoxious that Moto doesn't track this. Darcy, Preordain. Also, like, it's just flat out breaks the rules that we don't get to see what they draw off these cards. Expressive Iteration. So they're holding up Stern Scolding. I can't get this down as long as they still have a Cast into the Fire in their hand. Man, play this. So suspend this. Back to them. Bolt on top. Man, their hand was just tailor-made to beat us, eh? All interaction. I just cannot believe they kept this. Like, why is this in their deck? Bolt is an exile. So Iteration, we don't know what they have, but this, okay. Play Bridge, play Lantern. So now they've got to spend their Cast into the Fire on the Bridge, and then we can Profane Tutor for another Bridge. Darcy again. Bauble, double Surveils. Oh, if they do this, then I have to Lantern in response so that they don't draw the Counterspell before I cast Profane. Yeah. All right. Lantern, mill you, or shuffle you rather. Okay, so Bauble resolves drawing Spire Bluff. Then we get to cast Profane Tutor, go find another Bridge. Where is it? All right, play Bridge, play Lantern, over to them. All right, Cast into the Fire on one of the bridges. They get their Surveil triggers. Murktide, Counterspell. Yep, that's fine. All right, so they got nothing, so we're just going to keep passing this through. They got less time than us, so now we're just going to Urza Saga for the Codex Shredder. Bolt on top. Bauble. Bolt on top is okay. I don't have to burn a Lantern on that, so back to them. I should just auto-yield to DRC. Right, Bauble. Make a Construct, and this resolves. All right, make a Construct, resolve this, go grab Codex Shredder, play land. I mean, they don't have a Cast into the Fire anymore, right? Like, they're actually just, they lose. Thoughtseize you, Boltus in response, yield to the Surveils. Surveil, Iteration on top, Resolve Thoughtseize, take Counterspell. Yeah, they can draw Iteration, that's fine. Surveil, Get rid of Force, get rid of Bauble. Bolt on top, that's fine. Exiles a fetch land, They got a minute left on the clock. All right, copy, Codex Shredder. I'm gonna mill myself. All right, our turn. Forest, go. Bolt, Surveil. They have a Spell Pierce on the top of their deck. That is irrelevant. Okay, counter spells on top. Mill myself, mill myself. Don't want to draw Thoughtseize, so mill myself. Okay, land's fine. Play this, back to them. They drew counter, and they're just gonna clock up before we are, so that's the game plan. Suspend this. Darcy on top. All right, cast Codex Shredder. Back to them. Plays Darcy. So Profane Tutor gets cast. Sure. Let's go grab the last bridge. It's irrelevant. They have literally 1 second on their clock. All right. Game over. Round 2, we're on the draw, and this hand's pretty good. So let's keep this. Opponent mulled to 5. I think I might actually just play Saga on turn 1. It gets us our Mill Rock faster than doing anything else. And then turn 2, we can just go Lantern plus Thoughtseize and see everything in their hand. Bloodstained Mire. Wow, triple Urza Saga, eh? Got this for Lantern. Verdant Glimmervoid. Swamp on top of their deck. All right, Saga ticks up. Thoughtseize them. What you got? Bowmasters, Fable, Bowmasters, Terminate. Let's take Fable, because it's the only card in their hand that actually lets them draw anything. Yeah, all right, take that. And then over to them. Then we'll get Bowmastered and Bowmastered again. But I think I can get Bridge down fast enough to where we're not going to lose. So fetch, Shieldred's on top of their deck. No, they can't play it at least. Bowmasters. I do have to be aware of that, though. So now I've got to basically mill every single land from now on so that they never are able to actually resolve Shieldred. All right, 2. I would assume they would just Bowmasters us again. Yeah, Bowmasters. So hand is Terminate Shieldred. Float a mana. Resolve this. Go grab, let's see, probably Codex Shredder, right? Yeah, Codex Shredder. Dual colors on top, so let's go Fair. Bridge. Their creatures are so small that they can actually just keep attacking us. Dothy Voidwalker is okay too. I take 4 here, go to 9. Then it's quite a lot actually. But I gain life off the Fair, so I should be able to recover. All right, they drew Dothy. Bowmasters again. I'm definitely not milling myself. So then Dothy comes down. I can't get everything out of my hand, so how much damage is that next turn? It's probably... let's just get rid of Bowmasters. Bolt on top. All right, draw, Fair, trigger. Okay, Saga, trigger the Saga. Then let's play Bell. I don't want to allow them to have a Bauble. I guess if they want to sack Dothy to get a Bauble, that's fine. All right, so Ghoul Colors Bell, Grief. Grief's fine. Over to them. So we're taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and going to 3. That's pretty rough. All right, we're at 3. I don't want to draw Lantern. Oh, that Seiju. Oh, another land. Okay, I got to stop my upkeep. Trigger, mill myself. Oh, I guess I could have channeled this, right? If I make a Construct, they just terminate it. It's got to be something I can play. Yeah, that was a mistake. I should have just allowed myself to draw Boseiju. All right, Bell. Damn it. And their top card's Mount Doom. I'm actually just straight up dead to this board, right? Fuck me. All right, mill myself. Draw. Okay, it's a card. So duress them, take the Terminate. Let's play another Saga, and back to them. So they drew Mount Doom, and then so I make a Construct and block this and take 2. So what is the activation on this? You have to have 3 mana to do it. Well, I'm never letting them draw another land anyway, at least I think. I'm going to go fetch Lantern so that they cannot cast Shieldred. What's under Dothy? Nothing that's relevant. Okay. Actually, no, they can play a land with Dothy, can't they? You may play it. All right. Make a dude. Block the big guy. Okay, this triggers. We draw. Float. We happen to draw Pithing Needle, which is fantastic. All right, grab Lantern. And that resolves. Then we'll cast Needle. We'll name Dothy Voidwalker. Play a land. Go. All right, I think we got the game locked up now. We just have to make it so they never, ever draw a land for the rest of the game. Plays another Dothy. All right, mill. Not dead after all, sure. Make a Construct. This triggers, gain some life. Profane Tutors our draw. This triggers, make a Construct. Then resolve this. Let's just go grab some more Mill Rocks. Codex Shredder. Land. Suspend this. All right, they want Not Dead after all. That's fine. Bolton Collapse. All right, I guess we're milling that. So Ghoul Caller, activate, because I don't want them to have that, and I don't want to draw Bauble. Northern Snaring Bridge. All right, they can definitely draw a Thoughtseize. Triggers, always yield to this stuff. Draw, cast Ensnaring Bridge. Back to them. Not Dead after all. Yep, so their draws are irrelevant, and this is going to be a long, painful slog to mill them out. All right, so resolve the Profane Tutor. I guess I'm just getting another Mill Rock, right? That's this, Codex. Somehow after searching our deck, the top card stayed the same. All right, play this, play Codex Shredder, copy, Codex Shredder. All right, over to them. Fatal Push. So they can, what? Fatal Push their Bowmaster, not dead it after all, to deal us 1 damage. That's fine. Let's just start aggressively milling them out. A land, can't let them have that. Mill. Another land, can't let them have that. Mill. Fable, can't let them have that. Mill. Croxa. All right, mill. Fable. Mill. Thoughtseize. All right, we're good. Suspend this. Back to them. Need to beat Shieldred? Just make sure your opponent never draws land number 4. All right, I'll mill myself because I don't want to draw trophy. Duress. Yeah, okay, sure. Triggers. Duress our opponent. Take one of these. Back to them. A Ragavan. That's also fine. I'm going to go grab Surgical so I can see their deck. Cast this. All right, Surgical. Draw. So let's Surgical Croxa. All right, what do they got? Molten Collapse. Another Shieldred. So it's just Scam. They have a Bone Crusher Giant and a Bolt. Sure. Needle. I'll just name Dothy again. I'll just name Mount Doom. I don't know. All right, over to them. So I know all the cards in their deck now. I'm in no hurry to do anything. Cast Dothy. Sure. Milieu. All lands must go. Milieu. Undying Evil. Sure. All right, they have conceded at this point. Not sure why they didn't concede earlier. So Scam. We need to be aware of Blood Moon and Shatter effects. Let's see. So Inquisition. Haywire to get rid around the Blood Moon effects, although if they have Magus of the Moon, we can't get around that, but okay. Curse Totem affects Dothy, does and affects Reflection. Not worth it. Stone of Eric stops Scam shenanigans, I guess. Also, they're a Thoughtseize Grief deck, so Leyline is probably good. All right. I don't want Surgical. They might have EE, so I do need some amount of Pithing Needles. Now Spellbomb I don't care about, even though, yes, this stops scams, but Stone of Eric stops them better. What else can go? I need Needle for Dothy, and I need it for potentially EE. So I probably want to keep both in. Oh, I didn't bring in Stone of Eric. I mean, if they grief turn 1, right? So it doesn't matter, and we're on the draw. It can kind of help later if they have, if they, like, not dead after all a Dothy or something. But we're already needling for a Dothy. I guess Grafdigger's Cage also basically does the same thing. They're almost certainly bringing in Hidetsugu and Magus. Yeah, well, if they have Magus or if they have Blood Moon, they have one or the other or both. So we can't cut Trophy because of that. Maybe Aether Grid is good. It kills Bowmasters. It kills Dothy, maybe. It kills Magus of the Moon, and we can cast it even if they have a Magus in play. I'm just struggling with what to cut. I guess let's not have double Haywire. Let's just have one. Let's just have one Needle. And I have to keep Trophy in the deck. I can't cut any of this stuff. I can maybe cut Cookbook. I mean, their whole plan is to strip our hand apart anyway, right? So, like, Bridge is going to be online a lot of the time regardless. This is a way to beat Shieldred, though. Just gain 3 life every turn to mitigate Shieldred. Oh, I ran out of time. Did it not let me submit? Hopefully we submitted. All right, well, this could be rough. Black Cleave. Yep, here we go. We get hand ripped apart. So, Grief, exiling Dothy. What do they take here? Duress if they have Blood Moon effect. If not, I guess just Bridge. They took Trophy. Yeah, not dead after all. Comes back. I'm still amazed Grief is legal anywhere, but okay. Oh, then they take Bridge. All right, let's play this. Let's play this. It's not going to get any better. Duress them. Molten Collapse. And they have Ragavan. This is end step, right? So I should bobble on end step. And they drew a land so they can dash. It's the beginning of end step, right? All right, bobble. They have a land, sure. So draw. Well, we're just not getting anything. So this. What'd they even exile off me? They exiled a land. Dash the Ragavan. They exiled what now? Haywire Might. Really? Yeah. Okay. All right, bobble. They actually exiled Haywire Might. Man, fuck Ragavan. We're just not drawing anything is the problem. I can't Profane Tutor. I drew Needle. All right. Well, Needle. Actually, we're just dead, right? I'm taking 7 damage, and then we don't have Bridge Mana. Yeah, let's just, whatever. Go to the next game. Okay, it did actually retain my sideboard. Stone of Eric. What do I cut? I guess, like, is Moon that bad for us? It means Urza Saga doesn't do anything, and it means Inventor's Fair doesn't trigger. The bigger issue is it means that, like, if we don't have a basic swamp, all of our black spells are uncastable from our hand. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. Get rid of that, and then I do still want all of the hand disruption. Maybe Cookbook isn't necessary. Like, if they get a Shieldred down, I can trophy it. All right, let's try that. Submit. This is maybe an argument for getting rid of Profane Tutor because it's kind of slow, but all right, we've got Lantern and we've got Bridge, and we've got Stone of Eric for the turn 1 scam shut off, so keep. I gotta stop them on their up. We actually have both of our basics in our hand. All right, Swamp, Bobble, Bobble, Stone, then upkeep, stop, Grief on top. All right, Verdant, Blood Crypt, Ragavan. All right, Bobble, we have to draw lands, Bowmasters. So draw, Draw. It's this. I already know what's on top of their deck, so let's duress them. EE versus Fable. Well, it's got to be EE, right? God, they also have a Shieldred that they're going to play next turn. Hang on. So, man, the Ragavan also makes treasure tokens. And they're about to draw Bowmasters, which means if I leave them with Fable, they get to just keep making copies of Bowmasters every turn. Ugh. What does EE do? They can't EE Bridge, so they can only EE, like, our other stuff, which is okay if they do that. Yeah, let's take Fable. Play Lantern, and then we'll pass. We're about to draw Thoughtseize. So the Ragavan is going to draw Thoughtseize. God damn it. I have to shuffle my own deck so they don't Thoughtseize us. So frustrating. All right, shuffle our own deck. Exile. They exiled Trophy. All right, Bauble, we got to draw. All right, draw. Oh, yeah, they have Bowmaster. I really needed to do this on the last turn instead of now. Uh-huh. Oh, and I forgot. The Ragavan treasure tokens mean that EE can blow stuff up. Okay, so I have to Thoughtseize EE out of their hand first. God, that's so frustrating. Okay. And they get Shieldred down, too. And I can't take Shieldred because I got to take EE because otherwise we're going to lose immediately. They can also just grief me to take the last card out of my hand. Thoughtseize. Gotta be EE. All right, over to them. Legion's End. I have no clue why they boarded that in. So hopefully they play Shieldred instead of grief. Okay, thank God. Even though we're still dying very fast to that. Yep. All right, play this. Play Bridge. This doesn't draw a card, right? No, it does draw a card. Which doesn't even help with these things in play. So go ahead, opponent. And they exiled an Assassin's Trophy, which means I have one Assassin's Trophy left in my deck with which to kill Shieldred off. Shuffle my deck. Leyline, which I can't even play. Yeah, all right, we lose. So for the people who play Modern, how in the world do you guys enjoy this format? Like, I'm struggling to understand how this is an enjoyable experience for you. On the draw for round 3. We actually do have a turn 1 Thoughtseize. All right, keep. Oh, yay, scam again. Cool. Ragavan. All right, Bauble, Spire, Thoughtseize. Grief, Fatal, Push, Colligan's Command. I guess I'm taking Colligan's Command. And then we'll upkeep, stop, Bauble, draw. Bauble, they're drawing Dothy. All right. It's fun when you don't play against Scam, but I swear 95% of Moto players are on Scam. Okay, I hear what you just said. I heard words come out of your mouth, and they were, in fact, intelligible. How do you have fun in any matchup besides Scam? Like, name the matchup where it's actually fun. All right, Saga, Trigger, Needle, the Dothy, Spellbomb, over to them. So they do have a Fatal Push in hand. I also, the Constructs can't even block Voidwalker. So, strong decks are fun. Scam is just bad because it does its BS on turn 1. Name a deck that's fun to play against in the format. The Exile Bridge. If I were them, I guess I would just hardcast Grief and take my Profane Tutor now, right? Yep. This is 8 damage, and I'm not gonna... So I have to, what, rip Bridge off the top, and then I'm still dead? Yeah, okay. Spellbomb. Why didn't it give me the option of paying for the trigger? Oh, because of Dothy. Right. Yeah, okay. We're dead. It's more that it's fun to try to pull off your BS before they get to do theirs. Yeah, see, to me, that's not fun at all. All right, so what was Scam again? It's, fuck, do I even bring in Leyline? Like, yeah, if they grief us, like, the problem is, like, it's not even actually any good. Stone isn't even any good, actually. Maybe I just ignore the Scam plan entirely and just say, like, yeah, that doesn't matter. Like, we're just gonna bring these in and take out Surgicals. What else? I guess this loots. I'm just gonna ignore the Scam part of their plan, because the likelihood that I actually am able to do anything about it is so low that's like, fuck it, whatever. Who cares? Like, I try to do your thing and completely ignore what they're doing and just go off. That sounds like what Modern has always been criticized for. 2 ships passing in the night. Like, if you're not interacting with your opponent, then at that point, isn't it basically just solitaire? Like, why are you even playing an interactive multiplayer game at that point? We don't have any black mana for all of these black spells in our hand. Yeah, okay, it's not keepable. All right, keep this, and I have Lantern Millrock. I can't get rid of that. I do want to duress them, although it's not imperative that I do that. Needle is relevant for some cards. Maybe I just get the mill plan going as fast as possible. So I probably can't get rid of Hand Disruption, right? Let's put back Needle. So the plan is Saga, Lantern, see what they have, and then follow that up. So Lantern, and then we're going to follow that up with Duress Codex Shredder next turn, and then the Saga will obviously not get us a Karnstruck, but it will find us a Millrock faster than we otherwise would have it. All right, no turn 1, apparently. Thank God. This triggers, Glimmer Void, Duress. What you got? Persist? Not dead after all. And their hand's Bowmaster's Troll. I guess I'm taking Persist. Codex, and then go to them. Ragavan. I really don't want them to draw that. I'm going to wait till their upkeep and see if they cycle the Troll. Yeah, all right. Let's just not allow them to have Ragavan. Molten Collapse. Fantastic. And Needle. For God's sakes. It's a lot to fun with Modern is in the play group. I never played on Moto, only play Pauper there. So you don't play Modern at like FNMs or anything. You just have a play group where nobody plays the bullshit decks. All right, well, we've got a mill Pithing Needle. So draw, float, resolve this. Let's go grab another Codex. Where is it? Codex. 100% milling this. A swamp. All right. I guess I once again should have just waited until their upkeep because they can cycle the troll, but I imagine they're just going to cast Bowmasters. Gardens, suspend Tutor, Lantern, over to them. All right, we just got to find a bridge. Plays Bowmaster. Draws a swamp. All right, Fatal Push is fine too. So it's just the race is on to get a bridge. Actually, we need to draw this land, right? I guess it's more likely to mill until we find a bridge versus getting a land. So Molten Collapse. All right, so mill. Do I want to mill this? I guess I do. No, actually, no, I don't. Yeah, okay, that resolves. This gets us to land number 3 and gives us more options of what we want to do. All right, I'm going to tutor for the bridge. Yeah, okay. So gardens, then we just pass back to them. So Troll Cycles, Season Pyro. Do I have to counter that? I guess it lets them hit one card that I don't necessarily get to see. Okay, that's fine. They draw that. I enjoy Modern as much when I started in 2021 with MH2. The drop and fetch lands let me get the mana base, and thus I was able to play like 5 decks like Yogg, Omnath, Murktide Creativity, and Jund. I'm on Hammer right now. That just, all you're saying there is I can afford the format, whereas I couldn't before. Not really a point in favor of it's fun. Whenever I play it, actual FNM or RCQs, I play Living End, so I can't complain about the BS. Exactly, like Living End is one of the most boring decks to pilot in existence. I don't understand how anyone has fun with it. Okay, so I should be able to see each card that they draw. So I guess they revealed Blood Crypt was the other card they drew? Okay. So it doesn't matter what I target right now because we're going to Profane for Bridge. Go cast, go get Bridge, land, Bridge. Huzzah! All right, they can't attack us anymore. So they had Troll on top and they drew a Troll. Okay, here's another Bridge. Back to them. Magus of the Moon. I guess I don't want them to have that. All right, they're conceding anyway. Yeah, still seems like this is the correct move here. Run it back. I've had fun with all those decks, and I just think it's because I'm just always adapting and consistently replaying games in my head like a QB on Monday watching film. Don't know what that means. So 2 cards in our opening hand I can't even play with the mana that we have, but we do have Saga, Lantern, Millrock with Saga to go find another one, and Bauble to redraw. All right, okay. Opponent rolls to 5. Black Cleave, Ragavan. Yep. All right. Bauble, I'm obviously casting. Saga, Lantern. They're about to exile one of our bridge. Okay, over to them. Cycle Oliphant on upkeep. Terminate, sure. So Ragavan hits us. They exile Ensnaring Bridge. Well, we're actually drawing a colored land. Blood Crypt, Grief. Okay, exiles terminate. Took Trophy. Yep, makes sense. And they got the scam bullshit too. Uh-huh. What do they take here? Duress or Bell? Oh, they have no cards in their hand. So yeah, Duress is actually dead. What'd they exile to the... Yeah, okay. Bauble, a trigger, resolve this. That goes up. I mean, I guess I cast Duress to get it out of my hand, or do I not? That just can't be right, can it? Maybe it is right. I don't know. I gotta get my hand low for Bridge if I do get to it at some point. All right, Glimmer, Duress, second Lantern. To them. We have 3 turns before we're dead. Oh, they're drawing EE. Okay, well, they don't have it yet. Isn't it so cool how they didn't ban Grief? Yep. Are they not attacking with Ragavan because they want me to draw Boseiju? Dumb question, why were the artifact lands banned in Modern? Because they make Affinity a lot better. So we're drawing Profane Tutor, which is going to be too slow. All right, Float, resolve this. I don't want to draw the next Profane Tutor, so I guess I'm getting Bell. I can't allow them to draw EE, so yeah. Bowmasters? God damn it. All right, suspend this. It's going to be a turn too slow. So we take 6. Yeah, okay. They could probably be unbanned at this point, given how Power Crept Modern is and with Force of Vigor in the format. I mean, either like 40 cards should be banned or almost everything should be unbanned. Yes, get rid of this land off the top of our deck. Ragavan. Bauble, we can't draw that. All right, it's bridge or bust, so... Because we still have 2 counters on the Profane Tutor, right? Yeah. And we're already down a bridge. All right, shuffle my deck. Top card is Urza Saga. That doesn't help. So upkeep, Bell. Hit a bridge. We hit the bridge. Cannot believe we hit the bridge. So they have a Bowmasters in their hand, and they're about to draw another Bowmasters. So we're at 4. Dothy is okay. But no, Dothy is actually not okay, right? Because it'll screw up my ability to use Ghoul Bell to mill stuff. Am I good to draw this, or do I just mill now? I think I just... Oh, no, I would have to mill on my turn, right? On my upkeep. I can activate Academy Ruins. Yeah, okay, so Upkeep. All right, I get to resolve this. Cast. Let's go grab Codex. All right, that's... well, I want to get rid of Dothy anyway, so let's just spell now. Cookbook, sure. Codex Shredder, Cookbook. Over to them. They have another Bowmasters in their hand, right? I mean, I'm going to draw Saga, so that's... Okay, we have the game. It's just going to take a while to actually win. So fetch to change the top card of their library. It's a Grief. That's fine. Bowmasters. I actually don't even care if they draw that, but I don't want to draw Thoughtseize. All right. Bell. Oliphant. Ooh, we're about to draw Aether Grid. Excellent. Let's copy Codex Shredder. Draw. Play Aether Grid. This thing triggers. Yeah. Aether Grid. Over to them. At this point, they should just concede. Like, although it is going to take us some time to kill them, it's not going to take us 15 minutes. All right, they draw Oliphant. That's... All right, I guess we just start shooting them. Actually, can I save targets on this? No, I can't, can I? Shoot. Tap, tap. All right, this thing triggers. I guess we make a Construct. This resolves. Let's go grab another Codex Shredder. Play Glimmer Void. Over to them. Cycle Oliphant to change the top card of the deck. It's a Verdant. That's fine. It doesn't matter. We have 4 Mill Rocks. They are never resolving. They're never drawing anything relevant for the rest of the game. Aether Grid. Tap, tap. Aether Grid. All right. Draw land. Just activate Cookbook. Discard this. Back to them. Opponent fetches. Colligan's Command. Okay. Mill that. Blood Crypt. They have finally conceded. Guys, if your opponent has Ensnaring Bridge, Lantern, and 3 Mill Rocks, you lose. You don't have to keep playing the game. There will never, ever be any possible sequence of draws that you have and your opponent has that could possibly let you escape the lock. You know, unless you're playing, like, I don't know, Ancient Grudge or something in your deck. But outside of that, you lose. What if the Lantern player falls asleep and loses to time? If your opponent has 15 minutes left on the clock, you're going to lose. Land, everything we need other than just more mana, keep it. We're on the draw. Forest, ooh, Amulet Titan. All right, well, I think we have to try to get lucky and surgical something here. So let's go Codex, mill them, Grazer. All right, bounce land. Yeah, let's just always yield to this thing. 3 mana, Azusa. Bounce land, So they get up to 4 mana this turn. Slayer Stronghold, Dryad. Oh, man. Thoughtseize? Okay, well, I guess we're doing that. Thoughtseize our opponent. Black. It's just 2 lands. And a Beseiju, so we can never hide behind Bridge. All right, Milieu. Go ahead. Yeah, let's just F6 to the rest of this. Plays Beseiju. Oh, of course, they fucking top-decked the Titan the turn after I Thoughtseized them. And it was in the correct order, so that milling them made them draw it. Just unbelievable. All right. Oh, Amulet Titan. I mean, Inquisition isn't a dead card. Let's see. Haywire Might to kill the amulets. Damping Sphere. None of this does anything. So the only question is Inquisition. I want to keep Surgical in the deck. Assassin's Trophy technically can, like, blow up something relevant sometimes. What is Needle Stop? Okay, now Spellbomb's not useful. Let's get rid of that. Underworld Cookbook's definitely not going to be useful. What is Needle Stop? It stops Slayers. Who cares? I guess it also stops Beseiju, which is highly relevant. Okay, relevant cards Duress can take. Amulet, Summoner's Pact. Relevant cards Inquisition can take. It can take both of those, and it can take Azusa and Dryad, so Inquisition is better than Duress. Needle and Beseiju. They have Force of Vigor in their sideboard, right? So we probably need 2 Needles. Kind of want all these Duresses. What do I cut for them? Okay, Trophy. If they ever are at a point in the game where they play Titan, they can just bounce a Beseiju to their hand and then blow us out anyway. So as trophying the Titan doesn't even help. Trophying a Dryad may help us not die to Valakut, though. It just seems not that great, but man, Hand Disruption isn't even that good against them, though, right? It's the same problem as with Tron. All right, let's just cut all the Duresses. We still have a bunch of Hand Disruption anyway. We don't have... No, we do have turn 1 Hand Disruption. Okay. Keep Millrock, Lantern, Hand Disruption, Profane Tutor, and Saga. So Marsh, Thoughtseize, Force of Vigor, EE, Dryad, Primeval Titan. There's just nothing I can take. They have multiple pieces of interaction, so I can't take both of them. I guess Force of Vigor blows up Saga, and it's more free, and it is easier to blow up Bridge with it than EE is. All right, I'll take Force of Vigor. So Saga. So let's play my own Saga. And do I cycle Profane Tutor, or do I suspend Profane Tutor, or do I just go Lantern Bell? Like, I'm never going to keep them from doing what they're doing, so I just need to get Bridge online as fast as possible. That doesn't even help because the Titan just fetches Bounce Land Beseiju. I think all they're going to do on their turn is play a Bounce Land. Or no, they're not going to play a Bounce Land, right? All right, let's just suspend this. Back to them. So this matchup feels impossible. Everything in their deck searches or is a threat that we have to deal with. Wait, really? They're going to bounce Saga back to their... Okay. Because then they're going to play Dryad next turn. That's an interesting draw. Huh. My having a Construct is not going to matter. So let's just go ahead and tap out. Simic Growth Chamber on top. That is super interesting. All right. So I can mill it, surgical it, and then take the Growth Chamber out of their hand. And then they might not have the mana to do anything. I guess that's what I'm doing. All right. Ghoul Caller's Bell. All right. Over to them. I don't have to do it yet. I'll do it with Dryad on the stack. So Gardens, Dryad. All right. Surgical. This. Take this. They have Summoner's Pact, Titan, Saga, EE. What's in the rest of their deck? Same old that you would expect. Oh, they have Ring in their deck too. Okay. They have 3 Besejus. So if I'm hiding behind a bridge, I've got to worry about 3 Besejus, Force of Vigor, EE, Needle to shut off my Mill Rocks, Valakut triggers. Fucking hell. All right. Well, nothing we can do about that. I guess I want Haywire Might to blow up this Saga. So the Vesuva, I can't let them have because that gives them another bounce land. Yeah. All right, so draw the Haywire Might. Oh, wait, no, we're not going to draw the Haywire Might because of this thing. Okay, what am I getting with it? So even a bridge doesn't actually get us out of it. They have a million lands in their deck. We'll never be able to get ourselves into a position where we mill literally every land. Also, they can just play EE on 1 and blow our Mill Rocks up. So that doesn't work either. So the F do I do here? If I grab Damping Sphere, then their Simic Growth Chamber... No, the Dryad is making everything still tap for mana anyway. So they still have colors for EE, even if I do that. Okay, I can... The Urza Saga doesn't have to fetch a Mill Rock. I can fetch Haywire Might, and we can use Might to blow up Saga. But that still leaves me with the issue of what else am I doing? I can't possibly race them if I make a Construct here. If I make a Construct here, I also can't activate Haywire Might this turn. No, wait, I can, because it's coming directly into play. Is that the plan? Make a Construct, fetch Haywire, blow up Urza Saga, mill over Vesuva with the Ghoul Caller's Bell, and then so what is the tutor getting me? Maybe I still just tutor for Damping Sphere anyway, and then that screws up their mana production, but they still have EE in their hand, so they can still just go EE for 2, but it at least slows them down. I could also, so I'm thinking like, if I can get rid of a Primeval Titan somehow, surgical it, but I don't have both of them. If I grab Hand Disruption, I can only take Titan, and then they still have Summoner's Pact. If I take surgical, I need to mill one randomly, which is not likely. I'm going to take Damping Sphere. Screw it. All right, trigger trophies on top. Doesn't matter. All right, we drew Haywire Might. So if I want to play Damping Sphere this turn, I've got to make mana with this. I mean, it reduces the amount of mana they have. It doesn't shut off their colors, and then they still EE, right? That's the issue. I guess I can go fetch Needle and Needle the EE, right? So float, resolve this, grab Needle, name Engineered Explosives, play Glimmer Void, play Haywire, kill that, then play Damping Sphere. Okay, so now they have 3 mana, because Vesuva can copy something, but then they just have 3 mana. Vesuva copies Mycosynth Gardens. All right. T-West can grab nothing of value, right? So I'm okay if they draw that. No, it can grab Beseju, so I do have to mill it over. So I mill my own Saga, which is okay. Can I afford to wait? I probably need to control what they're drawing. It's just so much better if I draw a Saga here. Yeah, okay, let's draw the Saga. Play this, and then let's mill them. Another Dryad. All right, that's acceptable. It just gives them another Dryad, and then we can make a Construct to actually block them. Another Titan on top as well. Are we actually going to cut them off of mana? So they play second Dryad, this Dryad. All right, Gardens. Copy the Bell. I guess I'm drawing Surgical. That's fine. All right. Surgical. This goes up. I allow them to draw the second Titan, so back to them. And as long as I can just keep them off of mana, I can make Constructs. All right. Mill. Get Beseju out of here. Valakut. Definitely get that out of here. Oh, we're about to draw Mill Rock, though? Okay. So, all right. They've conceded. So game 3. That seemed to work out all right. Yeah, let's just run the same thing back. No lands is a molt. All right, keep this. What am I chucking? I've got multiple discard plus surgical. I guess chuck away Bauble. Yeah, okay, chuck Bauble. There's a Saga and an Amulet. Ugh. Mycosynth Garden. All right. Inquisition of Kozilek. What you got? Dryad, Cultivator. Take that. Well, I guess I wait for them to play a bounce land and then surgical the Dryad. So over to them. Yeah, surgical this. Pay the life. They drew Ring. All right, take all these Dryads. Is their makeup the same? Yeah. Okay, so, I mean, all they can do with the mana this turn is make a Construct, which is not bad. All right, well, we got nothing going on. So they're going to go grab another Amulet and then play the Ring, and then we're completely screwed. All right, suspend tutor. Oh, they're going to Gardens and then do it next turn? Sure. We have no way to stop that. I can Needle the Ring. Yeah? All right, the One Ring. They only have one card I don't know about. I think it's better not to Inquisition right now. Mycosynth Garden. Okay, we're taking a whole bunch of damage. Gotta draw something. Profane Tutor. All right, cast. I guess I just go get Bridge, right? Because there's nothing I can do about all these amulets. So next turn, they get to go bounce land, go absolutely insane with mana, right? And then they can play Cultivator Colossus. But I'm also just dead in 3 turns to this Construct. So, like, the Damping Sphere basically cuts them off of mana for the rest of the game, right? Essentially. Like, their bounce lands don't actually tap for mana. So the basic question is, like, how likely do I think it is that I'm going to draw some kind of an answer to this Construct in 3 turns versus how likely do I think it is that I just lose the game if they get to make 6 mana with Celestia Sanctuary? And I think it's pretty likely that they just kill us if they can make mana. So I think I actually just go grab Damping Sphere. All right. Well, we drew a bridge anyway. Okay. So Inquisition. All right. Can't take any of that. Play Damping Sphere. Okay. You have no colored mana. This is a game. You guys seen this before? Gruul Turf. They can make a bunch of colorless. They can play the ring and not activate it. Wait, this can produce... Oh, it can produce colors by filtering. Come on. The turn after I hand disrupt you, you draw Boseiju? Yeah, okay. Play Bridge. Over to them. So now they get to play Cultivator and draw 10 million cards. Comes back to their hand. Cultivator. T-West is a part of this. If I had had one turn without them drawing Boseiju, I could have Mycosynth Gardens to copy my Damping Sphere, and then they wouldn't have been able to get out of it. But nope, they ripped Boseiju off the top. So now they just make a million mana, and then we're dead, right? Because they're going to bounce T-West to their hand, Summoner's Pact, then Pact for Titan, then they play Titan, then they get more stuff, and then they'll find a way to kill us on the spot. It's not, we don't even have one turn. Dude, why are you letting yourself play Modern again? I don't know, man. I guess I'm a masochist. Oh, they're just going to fetch Boseiju to blow Bridge up? Sure. I'm out of basics. I guess I can grab other things. I don't know. Maybe not. Ring. Okay. Titan. Yeah, all right. I've seen enough. The Construct alone would kill us there, right? Okay, we're on the play for the final round. What do we got? Enough of a setup for this stuff to be good, so let's keep this. I guess Lantern. Hard Evidence. Okay, so it's a creativity deck, presumably. Arboreal Grazer? Meeting of Minds. Convoke, draw 2 cards. Okay, I don't know what this is. I'm definitely duressing them. So, duress. Intruder Alarm combo. I can't take Grist because it's technically a creature. Pile on Hard Evidence, Intruder Alarm, Intruder Alarm. So right now, they actually can't play anything other than Hard Evidence. I'm going to mill... Actually, am I milling the Meeting of Minds? I guess I'm not. Huh. This makes a clue, right? I guess I take that, and then again, the plan is just keep them off lands for the rest of the game. Okay. Take Hard Evidence, play Codex Shredder, and go. If they draw Grazer, it allows them to cast the Meeting of Minds. Do I care? Not... maybe. Do I have to also mill over everything that makes a creature? It's a more roundabout way of doing it. I guess it's fine. All right. This goes up. So land. I might actually be able to just race them with the Construct tokens if I don't play anything here. They're going to get pile on mana. I guess that's fine. Yeah, all right, go. They draw Arboreal Grazer. They're just not going to play it, though? You got to play it, right? You have to have a Convoke dude. No, they're just not going to play it? Okay. Make a Construct. I'll mill myself? Nah. All right, I'll mill you. A land. All right, well, I don't want them to have a land. So, Construct, resolve this, go grab another Codex Shredder. Interesting. All right, we got to stop them on upkeep. So, combat, attack with Construct token, upkeep. All right, mill that. Diabolic Intent. Yeah, that's fine. They fetch in response. Sprout, sure, you can draw that. Orcish Bowmaster's on top. All right, we won. So, Intruder Alarm combo that uses Sprout Swarm to generate infinite tokens, which we can beat with Ensnaring Bridge. Definitely want this. If they're playing a bunch of X1s, be those Sprouts or Bowmasters, I guess Aether Grid's fine. What else? Haywire Might to blow up the Intruders. No, no, no. Don't need Graveyard Hate. Cursed Totem, what does that do? Nothing. No. Damping Sphere, no. All right, so these cards don't need Nile. What does Needle name? It names Grist, maybe EE or something. Let's get rid of Cookbook. I mean, I guess I can shut their combo off if I Surgical Intruder Alarm. Assassin's Trophy also seems very not good in this matchup. Surgical's not great either. Let's cut 2 Surgicals and leave 1 Trophy in just in case there's something we have to get rid of. And we'll do this. So, Sultai Intruder Alarm combo. Turn 1 Hand Disruption and multiple pieces of Hand Disruption into the mill plan. Colony Garden. Wow, Codex. All right. Thoughtseize. Actually, let's Inquisition. Wow, I didn't think I could miss on Inquisition, but somehow I missed on Inquisition. All right, then. I was like, given what we saw last game, obviously. So they just have Stain the Mind pile on. So at this point, let's just start milling the hell out of them. Mill anything of relevance. All right, Lantern. What's on top? Land. Oh, no, do not play play Codex. All right, you can definitely draw lands. That is a thing you can do. Why in the world would they keep pile on in this matchup? Stain the Mind again. Colony. I guess I don't want to draw Inquisition. All right, mill myself. Surgical Extraction. That does, in fact, kind of work here. All right, upkeep stop, so play land. Let's Thoughtseize them. So we take Stain. They have Beseiju? Okay, take Stain the Mind. I guess if I Needle, they have to... So stop them on their draw step. Needle, then they Beseiju the Lantern. Okay. Codex. This gives me more looks at trying to find another Lantern when they get rid of this first one. Needle. All right, they just allowed it to resolve. Beseiju, who endures. Then over to them. Draw step. Surgical to Stain the Mind. Take this, take this, take this. All right, what is in their deck? Intruder Alarm, Grazer, Intent, Grist, Meeting of Minds, Sprout Swarm, Sundering Vitae. So their only way past Ensnaring Bridge is 4 Sundering Vitaes. So if I play Ensnaring Bridge, I just have to mill those cards and I don't have to mill literally anything else in their deck. I guess I have to mill Diabolic Intent so they don't go find it. I guess Grist can win. They cut all their Bowmasters. Grist, I guess, can, like, ult a whole bunch of times, so I do have to also be aware of that. Okay. Hard Evidence. I guess I don't want them drawing things that draw cards at instant speed, so let's mill that. Right, mill them. Grazer, that's fine. Back to us. Ghoul Caller's Bell. Back to them. I guess they can what? They can technically pile on their own dude to Surveil. Fetch. All right, here's another Mill Rock. You can concede now, opponent. They fetch. Intruder Alarm. Yeah, you can draw that. That's fine. A Swamp. Plays Intruder Alarm. All right, mill us, mill us, mill us. Yeah, I'll use the bell, why not? Okay, Urza Saga. Play Urza Saga. Trigger. Over to them. I mean, you really can pile on your own stuff, like, you know, to Surveil. Not that I think it particularly matters at this point. All right, I don't want to draw Profane Tutor, so let's Bell, get rid of Grist. Mill me. Profane Tutor, no, get rid of that. Another Profane Tutor, get rid of that. All right, Ensnaring Bridge it is. I'm actually not going to play that, though, because I think I can just win with these Karnstructs. Actually, I can't because they have pile on, right? I guess I do just play Ensnaring Bridge then. Yeah, we're not going to bother with because they just killed them. So, back to them. Hey, they finally figured out they can kill their own dudes. Surveil. Top cards Vitae. Mill it. Meeting of Minds. Mill it. Sprout Swarm. That's fine. They should have absolutely used another pile on there. I'm the most tapped out I'm going to be for the rest of the game. They should have just gone for it again. All right, Float. Where's the Saga? Let's just go grab another Codex Shredder. Play Bell. Back to them. All right, I have 6 Mill Rocks. You ain't getting out of this. Sprout Swarm. Always yield to this thing. Fetch. Sundering Vitae on top. All right, get rid of that. Sprout Swarm. You got it. Sprout Swarm again. Sure. This is not representative of what's in their hand. I don't know what the heck is in their hand at this point. They have another pile on at the very least. I'm just going to draw this Haywire Mite so they don't start doing stupid, you know, just keep flickering that stuff over and over. Haywire Mite. All right. Back to you, opponent. Let's just blow this up now. Not that it even matters, but it's just wasting time for them to do that. Sprout Swarms. All right, opponent, you have tickled yourself pink. You can infinitely cast Sprout Swarm. I mean, there's literally no reason for them to continue. They're never getting through Ensnaring Bridge. I've seen their deck. They don't have any outs. We have 6 Mill Rocks. They're never, ever going to draw anything that matters. So they're doing this just to waste everyone's time. Can they crash Moto with enough tokens? I'm not sure. Can they make enough tokens in 16 minutes to do that? How many tokens do you need to crash the client? It's got to be in the hundreds, right? All right, they stopped doing it. They made 20 tokens. How much is that? 16? Yeah, 20 Saprolings. Okay. Pile on one of their dudes. Sure. Diabolic Intent. All right, we're going to mill that. Wall Blossom. Sure. Sorcery Speed so we can react to anything they do. Oh, it's another Diabolic Intent. All right. Bell. Another Diabolic Intent. Bell. Hard Evidence. Sure. We've been through 2 Vitaes, right? So they just have 2 more Vitaes left in their deck as their only outs. And Grist, I suppose. Cast Hard Evidence. All right. Mill our Duress. Profane Tutor. Sure. Spend this. Back to them. They drew a Grazer. I don't want to draw Assassin's Trophy, so I'm going to mill that. Mill. Another Ensnaring Bridge. All right. That's fine. Play Bridge. All right. Where were we? I do have to be a little bit wary of this clue token so because they can draw a card at instant speed. So I always have to leave myself the opportunity to... I always have to leave myself with at least 1 Mill Rock. Honestly, I just shouldn't have milled over Surgical earlier because I could have just Surgicaled Vitae out of their deck. All right, Bell. Let's Bell again. Popping that in response. All right, mill them. All right, so they draw Grazer off their clue. Now they're fetching in response. Yep, this is going to be the best opportunity they have to try to hit something, but it's not going to matter. We have so much mill action. And they only have 2 relevant cards left in their deck anyway. All right, Bell resolves. They mill that over. Blossoms. Let's not allow them to draw. I'm also kind of low on time, so I do have to start aggressively milling them at some point. So how do we lose here? We don't. Cast this. Are we out of mill rocks? We are out of mill rocks, right? I guess I could just grab Aether Grid to kill them quicker. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, wait, no, I can't play Aether Grid. Okay, definitely don't want to grab Aether Grid. All right, our opponent has had enough. 3 and 2 with Lantern. So, I mean, I don't have too much to say about it. I think, so I'm very unimpressed with the Mishra's Baubles. They are not a substitute for Lantern. I think the reason they're in here is primarily just so that you have a cheap thing that you can get out of your hand quickly, and so that also you have turns where maybe your only land is Spire of Industry, and so you can play the Bauble and then have colored mana with Spire so that you can like turn 1 hand disruption. Nile Spellbomb doesn't necessarily have to be main deck. Underworld Cookbook is also a card where I understand what it's here for. It's here for a couple of reasons. It gives you life gain so that every card that you draw becomes 3 life, so you can get around like dying to bolts and stuff. Secondly, it means that you always have the ability to get rid of something in your hand, so if you have a bridge down, but maybe you don't have the colored mana to play some of your colored spells or something like that, it just allows you to get cards out of your hand for bridge, or maybe it lets you get cards out of your hand for bridge a little bit faster if you're against aggro. But it really didn't feel very good either. Other than that, and the trophies also feel kind of mediocre. But I guess they're doing what they're designed to do. They're just a catch-all answer for whatever you need to hit. Surgical Extraction also, I don't think you need all 4 copies of it main, because there's just going to be a lot of times where it's not useful. There's plenty of decks that are not combo decks. They're not like super linear. There's just really like actually not many good things that you can hit with them. So maybe you only need 3. Also, this seems like a lot of hand disruption. Not a fan of Leyline of Sanctity. I feel like against the Thoughtseize decks, it doesn't matter a lot of the time. And decks like Burn have lots of ways around it as well. I would have to do a lot of tinkering. I mean, it feels like same old Lantern. Like, there's not really much to say about it. If you've seen Lantern before, it's more Lantern. Anyways, your media recommendation of the day is the movie Big Fish. This is a pseudo-fantasy movie about a man who travels back home to meet with his ill father, who, as he grew up as a child, would tell him all sorts of fantastical adventures that the father allegedly went on. But the son, obviously, now that he's fully grown, doesn't believe any of the fantastical adventures and kind of has some resentment towards the father because the father insists that all these fantastical stories that he told are all true. And so it's a recounting of his various adventures, his relationship with his son, and then the question is left open-ended for a lot of the movie as to whether the adventures actually happened, or if they're exaggerations, or if, some version of those events happened without all of the fantasy elements in it. Very recommended. It's a pretty good movie. I don't think a lot of people know about it. I've quite enjoyed it. And that'll be the end of this video. Also note, if you're going to play Lantern on Moto, this stream did take 3 hours. So whatever it's cut down to on YouTube, Lantern takes a long time.